Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Sports and Society event on paying college athletes. My name is Jan Box-Steffensmeier. I'm the Divisional Dean for Social and Behavioral Sciences in the College of Arts and Sciences. And I want to thank our renowned panel and the moderators of both sessions, all of whom are committed to analyzing this complex issue and giving solid recommendations for solutions. Sports and Society is an honest broker on these issues that come up in sports. I'm a political scientist by training, so I like to say we're nonpartisan on these issues, but we want to provide a platform to be able to discuss these very important topics. I want to take a moment to personally thank the people who made today possible. Trevon Logan, our professor in economics, and Lucia Dunn, also in economics, are the co-directors of Sports and Society. Professors Nicole Kraft and Chris Noster, as faculty advisory board members, played a big role, and Larry Baum is another faculty member from political science who is here with us today. Maddie Kerma is ASC Special Events Coordinator and worked tirelessly to help us. I want to thank Mike Kaler and Alan Coleman of ASC Tech and our friends at Bartha for their AV support. We will have this up on our website for you to watch later. We also have a panel that we did earlier this fall on pay to play at the high school level that is up there available too. I want to thank the Faculty Club for hosting us in this event, and Jen Razor, my associate to the dean and right-hand person who helped make all this possible. My proud smile today is because it was about a year ago when I started as divisional dean, when I went to visit the economics faculty, and Lucia Dunn had the suggestion that Ohio State is preeminent in sports. We should also be preeminent in research on sports. So that is our goal in creating Sports and Society. After some follow-up discussions, Professor Logan decided to join Lucia in co-directing this year. And Dean Manderscheid at Arts and Sciences has been a big supporter in helping us get this going. Due to a lot of dedicated people, both around the university and our alumni around the country, we have a very impressive alumni board and list of affiliated faculty who are most impressive and I think are on the flyers that we have available today. So I want to welcome all the board members and the faculty who are with us. Sports and Society has a variety of dimensions to it, including courses that are of interest to our students in this area. So Lucia and Trevon have taught the sports economics for a number of years here at Ohio State. Chris has taught sociology of sports, and that will be some of the themes that we hit on next year with race and gender in sports. So we're not shying away from the controversial topics, I would say, as witnessed today. And I'm very happy to say Professor Nicole Kraft has started a sports media class, something that was very much needed at Ohio State, and of course enrollment is burgeoning through the roof on that as well. We've been very busy the last few months. We had a kickoff event in October. As I mentioned, our first panel was on pay to play, who's in, who's out, and how much. And we also followed up with, in December, having one of our alums, Greg Strezik, up here in front, come and give a talk on using data analytics in sports as a career. His title was From Moneyball to Victory Lane, an overview of the sports analytics field, to a packed room of both students and faculty who came. Greg has found success in NASCAR using his data analytics skills to bring home a NASCAR championship, and he even has the ring to prove it, which, did you remember to wear that today? He's got it, okay. So SSI has also been able to sponsor the work of our affiliated faculty in the research area. Professor Kraft, where's Nicole at? I've seen her earlier today. Okay, she's probably getting a donut.
She's
Nicole,
bringing in a panelist.
Oh, she's bringing in a panelist, okay. She has received a grant money to be able to fund, there she is, work on our college athletes using iPads, and with a split sample about trying to maximize the use of that technology for our athletes in the classroom. Professor Chris Noster is working on funding a national sports survey and a longitudinal survey that will provide hopefully unparalleled data on issues that face society and sports. And that survey is happening with our Center for Human Resources Research, which, if you don't know about that center here on campus, has for 50 years conducted the National Longitudinal Survey on work and life balance for the United States government. So it's a very impressive entity. We're also proud of the many students we have here. We have a number of journalism students reporting for the Lantern. I'd also like to ask if Walt King is here yet. Great. Walt is one of our students who works very closely with Trevon. We have a number of students involved with our faculty research. Walt recently presented at the MIT Sloan Conference on his measure of baseball analytics and is going to be working in that field when he leaves here at Ohio State. We also hope to offer a summer institute in the future where we can introduce younger students who are passionate about athletics to career options outside of work as a professional athlete. The world of sports needs more data analytics, sound engineers, writers, radio and TV announcers, nutritionists, medical professionals in all areas to treat sports-related injuries, just to name a few. Ohio State should be teaching them about these options, listening to their ideas, and helping shape the future of our young people. We'd also ask you to try to follow us on Twitter. It's at Sports in Society. When we started this, we had a very lame 20 followers for a very long time. I'm happy to say our COM students who are interns with Sports in Society have done a great job of getting that number up. And thanks to Nicole, she also suggested the hashtag of Athlete Pay OSU for us today. Thank you again for your support of our efforts here. And without further ado, join me in welcoming Professor Trevon Logan, who will introduce our first panel.
Thanks, Jan. And this idea does come directly from Professor Dunn, who wants to marry two things, which are academics who have a desire to generate more light than heat, and also not to be boring. So we decided to bring on experts who would have a nice, intellectually stimulating, but not overly academic conversation about this very controversial issue. And I'm excited to introduce this panel of experts. We have joining us today Vince Doria, who is the former ESPN Senior Vice President and Director of News, Matt Mitten, who is a professor of law and director of the National Sports Law Institute at the Marquette University Law School, Joe Nocera, who is the sports business columnist for the New York Times, and Andrew Zimbalist, who is the Robert A. Woods Professor of Economics at Smith College and a preeminent expert in the economics of sports. Our moderator, and who I will turn it over to now, is Professor Lucia Dunn, who is a professor of economics and the co-director of the Sports and Society Initiative here at OSU. Professor Dunn?
Thank you. Unfortunately, the NCAA could not send a representative today, but they did send a statement of their position, and I'd like to read, and this is from their bylaws, I'd like to read part of that right now. And I quote, "The NCAA is committed to a model of college sports based on amateurism, where the education is the first priority and sports comes second." So this is their position, and it implies that student athletes cannot receive any pay beyond their college scholarship and now a small sum to cover the full cost of attendance. However, in the last few years, that NCAA amateurism model has come under fire, especially with some recent court cases where it's been charged that the NCAA acts as a cartel and violates U.S. antitrust laws. So that's the background to why we have brought these panels together today. We want to hear about this issue. And our first panel, each panel member is going to take between 10 and 15 minutes to lay out a position. I think we will have some diverse positions here. And then after that, we're going to have a response and rebuttal period. So I will now call on our first panelist, Mr. Vince Doria.